Thank you, friends, and welcome back.
First, I want to thank everyone around the world who gave of their time to watch episode 1 of the Organic Enlightenment Process. In this episode, I will share some basic symbols with you that will help your mind see the shape of the action mankind must take in order to create and preserve a true humanity. And then I will share excerpts from the book, The Organic Enlightenment Process, Book 1. But first, a quick and simple review of the basic components and fundamental nature of everything.
There are only 3 elements we must concern ourselves with. They are: the first element, the all-positive dimension of singularity within which there is no opposite. It is the realm of awareness. It is the essence of heaven. The second element is the qualitative opposite of the first element, defined completely by duality, by opposites, and all things material, namely our physical world and this entire material dimension. And the third element, the intellectual realm within which first element awareness interacts with and interprets the second element material world. All aspects and byproducts of intellect, history, language, culture, religion, politics, and civilization are simply aspects of the third element. Anything that is not either natural awareness or a solid material is an aspect of the third element. All the problems and difficulties we endure in this world are all born in and sustained within the third element. The third element is interpretation. It is subjective. The third element is constantly changing, and how it manifests in the physical world and how it influences mankind for good or evil is completely optional.
Do you understand?
Remember that? All right? This is the symbol for the individual. This is not a symbol for society. This is not a symbol to define a collective view of mankind, of humanity. If we view society in a pyramid shape, what we get is a tiny handful of people at the top. Below this, we have death. Okay, below this level, we have people rotting in the gutters, all based on the points of view of a very tiny, small, elite segment of our mankind. Of course, people are dying throughout the pyramid, right? Except for the people down here. How to explain it? How to explain it? How to explain it? This level only exists because this level creates the environment for this level to exist. You understand that? Right? No matter what, we're all connected. So, this acts as an anchor that holds humanity down. It holds humanity down collectively. It doesn't matter how high these guys get. As long as we have this as our foundation, we will never fully manifest or achieve our human potential. What's going to happen, and you may see this image, separate from all of humanity, separate. And this point, by the way, this direction is heading towards the negative. If you can view this world, this dimension, either way, right? And we have this pyramid heading this way. If we design a pyramid based on a positive outlook, we will get something that looks like that. Okay? This way, towards the positive. All this, these are the masses. One way or the other, okay? Latent potential to go one way or the other. What we need to do is encourage everybody to start viewing the world this way, giving you this kind of worldview. Positive, positive, where you see the collected unity, right? Positive, positive, in a negative world. All right. The pyramid, with its level of death, is only lacking one thing, one small component that we need to integrate into how we view society, how we view collected mankind, and how we can achieve and foster and create and maintain a collective humanity. Okay? We only have to add one thing, and that is the element of compassion. How do we achieve a mindset of compassion? Simply by viewing the world this way. Right? Once we see the unity of all things, compassion is a natural byproduct of that point of view. A byproduct of that point of view. So, what does compassion look like in our little diagram here? Well, I'll tell you. Compassion will look like this. A foundation, a base, upon which the pyramid sits. But what compassion now does is links humanity together, so that all of our technological advancements will not just profit a few people and stretch us out where we have all those people living under the death line. What this will do, with compassion, unify humanity and raise us all up. So humanity will go up, 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 together, collectively. All right? Because we added compassion. We no longer have the foundation, the bottommost level of the human experience is no longer rotting in the gutters. All right, that level is down here. This is the level of needless death. We're now above that. And we're going up. Lifting all humanity. No human left behind. That's my motto. In essence, what I'm talking about is very simple. A comparison between two different shapes, right? First, we have our pyramid, which is a death symbol. The pyramid are traditionally tombs, okay? Tombs, graveyards, symbols of death in the material world. What we need to do, we have our pyramid, which shows how, everybody's not the same. People have different levels of ambition. People work differently, With compassion, unifying all of humanity, it turns into something that looks much more like a house, right? A home. That includes everybody. And there is nobody that we allow to live beneath that level as we have done. Understanding that we as a humanity need to unify, create our base. And what is the base? The base is people. The base is us. So how do we? Once you see that, we get this. And this is a much better deal than this is. Believe me. And everybody can come and visit. The house, a symbol of life, a symbol of love. Not a pyramid, which is an ancient symbol of death. A symbol of elitism, oppression, of ignorance, of inhumanity. And everywhere you see this symbol, ask yourself, what is their interpretation of this symbol? When you see this shape, what ethic are they promoting? So I'm going to go put bases on the bottom of every pyramid and create homes for humanity. And not tombs of death, which is what we're rapidly achieving right now, as I speak. Mankind evolved in separate valleys, so genetically you're going to have variations, differences, and that describes, the differences between the different races. And that served its purpose as an evolutionary tool. We evolved regionally. But now, with technology and modern transportation and all that, everybody's everywhere. Right? So there are no more valleys. What we have now is one big valley of the earth in which everybody lives. We are all human beings of the valley of earth. So now, when you see this symbol in your corporate logos, in your advertising, in your business names, you see this shape, the V shape, this shape. Does it mean this? Does the symbol unify humanity? Or is this really simply the upside down pyramid? What does your logo mean? Are you about unifying? You have a responsibility to humanity first. I'm less concerned with production values as I am with getting the material across, okay?
Imagine the following: a dolphin giving birth in the middle of the ocean. There are no books or specialists. The process is clean, simple, pure, true, natural, wholesome, real, fearless, joy-filled, necessary, purposeful. That is how the process of organic enlightenment will be for you, I promise. FYI, I have agreed to become godman father to the dolphin's baby. Do you know what that means? It's a sacred relationship to my people. One of respect, trust, and yes, protection. All we need to do is acknowledge the possibility. Allow for the 50-50 possibility that in this world there is a chance that all this peace and love might happen. As long as you can allow for the possibility for personal revolution towards private peace, then you can equally have a global revolution resulting in global peace. It's the same thing, but it really only involves you, the individual. The world doesn't have to do a darn thing. You do. The iGodman movement will have peace cells around the world, ambassadors of love in every city, every town. The goal, to recognize and encourage any and all positive aspects of any particular culture around the world. We encourage and enhance all positive cultural aspects and simply have nothing to do with any negative cultural aspects. Simply encourage all things that unify humanity and reject all things that divide. That way, as citizens of the earth, we can travel around the world appreciating the wonderful differences of humanity as expressed through all positive, awareness-based, intercultural love. To Godman beings of the Valley of Earth, The only culture worth identifying with is the global interlove culture, making intercultural love wherever I go. It's not civilization, but pretentious civilization that is the thermometer of social ill. Civilization exists to uplift humanity. Collectively, humanity does not exist to support civilization. I wouldn't really call our world civilized. Technified, yes, but civilized, not yet. The greatest evil is hypocrisy. As long as your relationship expands your heart's love aperture, keep at it. If any relationship closes that aperture and lessens the love flowing into this material world through you, it's time to reevaluate the relationship, as any lessening of love is contrary to your ultimate purpose and the journey of awareness. That's all there is to relationships, period. Don't ask me about the details. The physical body is nothing more than a self-aware, genetically encoded flesh machine. It is a sense-based vehicle. It is the dwelling place of awareness. It is the temple of awareness. It is the only thing we, as first element beings, truly have in this material world, even though temporarily. It could only have happened now. Things had to get to their current state of complete ridiculousness before people could understand the truth behind the 180-degree flip to truth. At a deeply aware level, be glad things have devolved to this level of badness, because if they hadn't, things could never get better. What's the challenge for a first element being once it returns to this beginning? The new challenge for awareness, which has been resolving progressively difficult dimensions, is to figure out that the resolution to this dimension is actually the most simple of understandings and not the most difficult. The challenge then is not to figure out how to outsmart this dimension, but how not to outsmart yourself. Not making something simple into something complex. Even the most advanced beings of awareness may appear dim if they are looking for complexities where none exist. Know that we are all simply beings of awareness that are either too dim to figure it out or too smart to figure it out. What is this thing that beings of awareness are looking for? Nothing more than coming to an awareness of self as a first element being, regardless of which material dimension we are in. Godman. Non-gender specific word symbol that describes the next expression of human evolution. It is an evolution of awareness, not a physical evolution. Godman being will replace human being to self-describe the physical self. Once awareness fully returns and we identify with what we are and not who we are. Godman beings are consciously aware that the natural goal of awareness is to pass through the second element. The only way to do that is to consciously disempower the third element by focusing attention correctly in and on now. Godman beings are simply human beings that have correctly linked awareness of being with their first element, nature.
Knowledge itself does not put us closer to awareness. It can participate to the degree that the knowledge, the collection of symbol definitions we store in our brains, leads to a change of how we think, and not just a third element obsession on collecting and adding to the complex catalog of what we think we know. Eventually, knowledge's greatest contribution to attention evolution is that it itself is the last thing that must ultimately be abandoned, not forgotten or erased, simply released, cut loose. Get it? We still use it, but it is now only a tool.
Awareness has a natural love of adventure. We are conditioned to believe that our journey as a being of awareness simply ends with a reunion with the first element, and that's it. That's the end of the ride. That way of thinking doesn't inspire excitement. Awareness wants to continue with adventure. It's been subtly conditioned to believe that after this life, there is no more adventure, so it stays hooked on the cheap drama of this material world. What is required to overcome? Just a shift of thinking. Flip assumptions around. the assumption being that the journey ends after this life, when in reality, the journey is simply continuously beginning.
Mercy is a quality of the first element. It is unopposed and is an aspect of unconditional love. Sacrifice is an action based on perceived worldly values and losses and gains, and is completely rooted in the material realm of dualities.
To suggest that mercy is of a more first element nature than sacrifice is correct.
To desire mercy over sacrifice is a Godman aspect.
Reincarnation is a natural function of material spiritual physics. It is simply a time-based opportunity for an eternal being to experience a time-space material dimension as long as is necessary to come to awareness of self as a timeless being in a time-bound dimension. To the eternal, you may take 1,000,000 lifetimes to come to comfortable awareness of self, or you can do it in this lifetime. You can even do it now. To the eternal, it's all the same. I cannot overemphasize how truly unimportant reincarnation is above its function of providing a second element vehicle for first element awareness to come to awareness of first element status while in a second element material realm. Sin is when you let material distractions keep you from flooding this material dimension with as much unopposed joy and unconditional love as your love aperture will allow through. Any opportunity missed to manifest first element awareness in this world is a sin. There are very few straight lines in nature. That alone should clue us in to how unnatural and disharmonious too many straight lines, architecture, power lines, cement, and asphalt can be to awareness. Avoid straight lines and all they imply. When we teach history to children, we should present it like parts of an objective equation and not a subjective answer. When we acknowledge our own human failings of the past, the answer makes sense. The answer being the world we live in. Explain honestly how and why things were before awareness became the new standard. Show how acting from a position of ignorance and resistance to love leads to all that was and all the negative byproducts that ignorant, loveless thinking generates. What are those ignorant, loveless byproducts generated by ignorance of truth? Open your eyes and look around. The correct structure is as follows. The first element contains original awareness. First element awareness encounters the second element material dimension, creating the illusory third element. Awareness becomes lost when faith, the tool for belief and trust without evidence, is wrongly used to support the drama-based third element, instead of rightly used to bridge the unknowable gap between a first element understanding of reality and a second element understanding of reality. Godman beings cross that bridge at will and are aware of these truths on a conscious level at all times.
The one thing that scares people the most is the prospect of change. The cool thing about the revolution is that from an individual point of view, there is no physical change required. There is no effort put into changing anything you do at all. The only change that happens is a natural, non-resisted growing of awareness. It is a natural process. Change may happen, but it is only a joyous byproduct. Once you realign your awareness, certain things in your life may become naturally intolerable. When that happens, you simply choose to do things differently. The only change that happens is that you bring your life more into alignment with your awareness. That's it. That's the extent of what changes. Simply put, it is acting on or not acting on the vibrational advice impressions of unopposed first element awareness, that which you truly, really, at your core, most simply are.
This is not about monkey wrenching the daily details of your life. Your life is full already, and your own business. The individual big picture is the concern. The driving intent of this book is not to help you fit into current society in any way, shape, or form. That is not the goal. As a byproduct, coming to awareness will resolve problems and conflicts. Coming to awareness of self as a first element being of awareness will not magically make those situations disappear. It will transmute the situations from problems and conflicts into challenges that can then be approached with an attitude of unconditional love and unopposed joy.
A popular misconception maintains that humans have stopped evolving. There appears to be no outside forces acting upon us, no selective process at work, no saber-toothed tigers making sure only the fastest runners have sex tonight. An unpleasant truth? By the time it's reached mass media, it's too late. Whatever has happened has happened. A reality? GMOs, genetically modified organisms, produce, genetically mixed and matched, spliced, to enhance certain qualities, greater resistance to disease and insects, growth enhancers, etc. Vegenetics. The food we eat and the food of the food we eat has been genetically modified, potentially sapped and impurified at a molecular level. Who knows the extent of how vegenetics has affected us physically? Who knows what it may be changing within us? We don't know. Whatever it may be changing, though, it may already have. Potentially. The potential for some kind of evolution is there, latent in just the idea that GMOs have paved the way for a kind of brain evolution that now allows for first element thought patterns. What is God? If we must define the concept of God, it is, simply put, the sum total of all the various manifested possibilities in all possible dimensions in all possible times. That's more than a lot. That's everything. God is nothing less than the unified first element as observed from a diffracted second element perspective. God is the colorless, pure light that results when all the various separate colors are unified. God is the first element. With God, all things are possible. True, but not necessarily in this dimension at this time. But somewhere, at some time, absolutely. If we try to personify the concept, even an omniscient, all-powerful, white-bearded old man on a marble throne in heaven doesn't nearly come close. Whole awareness. Whole implies, defines that which is without substance. It is an absence created by a surrounding presence. It is paradox. Whole both is and isn't at the same time, which implies unopposed singularity, as there is no specific material opposite to the whole. The very nature of whole is that has no substance. It is as close to a description as we get to the qualitative nature of the first element. That first element association has a lot to do with our fascination for whole awareness and the success of whole awareness as a motivating factor at all levels of existence, physically and spiritually. In fact, you must agree that our very survival as a species depends on whole awareness. So conceptually, if you look closely at whole with a positive attitude, you may find that whole as an idea shape is able to wipe away ignorance and can help reveal your true awareness, which was always there. Everybody has one, just covered up after a lifetime of neglect, just waiting to be revealed. I say, let the whole wipe you